Told y'all. Here come that Wakanda forever. Remember that scene? Remember the scene in the Black Panther movie? There was a little train going through and it go. That's all I remember. But anyway. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Keep Battle Podcast with the baddest opening music in podcastum. I'm excited today. We're going to be talking to boss ladies today, women in business. We got some exciting stories to hear today, some exciting women here with us today. I want to introduce them. This is Women in Business Part 1, and we have with us today, first of all, I'll start with Alicia Hicks. She's one of the franchise owners of Tropical Smoothie King, coming to the shops at Iverson Mall.
Cafe, yep.
All right, good. She also graduated from Morgan State University with a BS in Information Systems and Sciences, and also Bowie State University with an MS in the same field. That's what I'm talking about. She's also the owner and president of Brownstone Consulting, which provides information security consulting services to the federal government, universities, and private business. Welcome, Alicia.
Thank you so much.
We also have with us two business partners that I'll introduce together. Sadika Brown and Kelly Queen are the founding partners of the new Digz consignment store in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, where they sell some really cool high-end apparel for women and children at incredibly discounted prices. Seen it. They got Salvatore Ferragamo up in there. And all that nice stuff. At a real Gucci. Nice. Sadiqa is a graduate of the Howard University with Bachelor of Business Administrations and International Business with a concentration on finance. Is it finance or finance?
Finance.
Yeah, I'm from Maryland. Finance. She had extensive corporate experience working with Adidas America and basketball promotions, and also worked in the office of the Chief Financial Officer at Freddie Mac. Kelly graduated from Virginia Union University. Everybody can't go to Howard. She earned a bachelor's degree in business administration. She also had a minor in finance. And while in college as a young adult, Kelly turned her passion for fashion into employment, working in several retail stores like Victoria's Secret, Lacoste, Lord & Taylor. In addition, she's utilized over 15 years of operational risk and vendor management experience to benefit the day-to-day operations of the boutique. Welcome, Sadika and Kelly.
Thank you.
Again, I'm honored you ladies took the time to be here with us today. Let's start. Why don't y'all tell our listeners briefly a little bit about your business? Say your name and then tell us briefly about your business.
Okay, I am Alicia Hicks, and thank you for the introduction. I am fortunate enough to have two businesses here. I am one of the owners and president of Brownstone Consulting, and we provide cybersecurity consulting, again, for the federal government, and been very successful over the last 10 years doing that. Also, franchisee owner of Tropical Smoothie Cafe that's coming to the redevelopment of Shops at Iverson, along with my
that's what they call it now, Shops at Iverson.
They switched it up.
They ain't calling it Iverson Mall no more.
That new money.
That's the last black mall standing.
That new money.
It took land over from them.
Shops at Iverson. Franchisee owner of Tropical Smoothie Cafe, along with my life partner David, in about 5 weeks before the end of the month. So we are working very, very hard to get people to see us, and let them know that we want to have healthy living on that side of town.
Yeah,
so
they don't. It's a desert,
and they should have it.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We're happy to bring it on that side of town.
How many partners do you have as owners?
I have
that
one.
group?
It's myself and again my life partner David.
Okay.
We also went to school together. So.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Which one of y'all gonna tell us about New Digz?
Kelly Queen.
Kelly Queen.
Yes. New Digz consignment is basically consignment is basically you bring in your items, and we service these individuals by selling their items on their behalf, and there's a split with that. Consignment has been around for a long time, but in PG County, we don't have that
Prince George's,
upscale.
don't get us in no trouble.
Oh yeah, that's right. You know, someone else said Prince George's County. We don't have that kind of shop in our area. And we decided to open the business after discussing my one of my lifelong dreams was to have this boutique consignment, and I just discussed it with Sadiqa, and she was on board to partner with me, which was great because she's the one who doesn't like, as you get in this interview, I guess we'll talk about that, but she hates clothes and shopping. So
What?
that doesn't go along with with consignment, but I do. So it's a great partnership in the business. But as Pastor Battle mentioned, we have the high end. So we have the Chanel, the Gucci, the Ferragamo, but we have mid like Tory Burch, Ted
Spade.
Baker, Kate Spade, Rebecca Metcalf. But then we have Fashion Nova too, and we have Zara, and so it's a mix for everybody to come. But
So if somebody want to bring their stuff, they can't bring stuff from Sears that they get.
No. They try to. Some of the pieces actually from Sears. I have to be honest. I mean, they catch you off guard because Kim Kardashian, you know, the Kardashians, they have some pieces. I mean, and there's some pieces that do slip in because they're just cute. But no, we'd rather not have those pieces.
Nice. So let's talk about this. You both have businesses that you're have a partner with. Like, what do you have any advice regarding how to select a partner, and how did you all decide on who you would go into business with? Because that's a very, very risky decision. I have some thoughts about it, but I'd like to know. Yours is different because you have a relationship with the person, right. Alicia. But what do you have any thoughts about that?
It's actually not very different. We believe that we are life partners, I guess, for the lack of, we say we're in a marriage, like that's exactly what it is. We are committed to one another, to the business, and we are committed to its success. So because of that, we're 50-50. Everything we do, we have to agree on it. And we've just been blessed because, we put God in the middle of everything. So there are times where we disagree. Not very many because we're so completely opposite. Like she likes fashion. I could give two bleepity bleeps about,
thank you for the bleeps.
Yeah, bleepity.
We don't have an editor.
Oh, no, I would never say that. No, but I could care less about, the fashion. So she says, I want to bring these pieces in. Now I might say, well, wait a second. You did this many. We got this many dollars. That's how we'll, conflict. But most of the times when we have a disagreement, we just, we'll pray about it. And usually somebody will say, you know what, I was thinking about it. Go ahead. It doesn't matter to me that much. And that's going on 4 years now.
4 years,
and it's funny because in the beginning, we went to this big conference. I mean, it's called NARTS,
the
National Association of Retail and
Thrift Professionals.
And
retailer and what?
Retail and thrift. Like, so thrifting.
Yeah. Resale. So it's resale.
Yeah.
So it's specifically for the resale industry.
Got you.
And this one of the speakers, I mean, well known in this industry, said, "You guys aren't going to make it," and I can't wait to go back. Yeah. And we want to be on the panel, like to say, "No, we're here 4 years in." I mean, he sat us down, like he came to our table and said.
And why did he think y'all weren't going to make it?
He said partnership,
friendship. Friends and business partners don't make it.
I hate what he would have to say with me.
yeah. And we were arguing, saying, no, well, we're opposite, so it's gonna work. No, and he was really adamant, like it's not gonna work, you guys.
Well, that's one thing. Having a business partner isn't anything different from having a friendship partner or a lifelong partner. We pick our friends the same way. We have to. We share a common interest, and we have commonalities. And that's important for a business partner as well. Also, there's strengths and some weaknesses. I don't have all the strengths. There's some weaknesses that I lack that my partner, he has strength in.
Yeah.
So I look toward that. Also, it's about the truth. There's some days aren't my best days, and that business partner should be able to tell you, pick yourself up. We got to go. We got to do this. But also telling you a way to enhance yourself. That's a good business partner.
But
and
you
that's
have
how
to
I
be
chose
able
him.
also to communicate with one
Absolutely.
another, because I can see why. I've had friends,
Mhm.
and we have other people that come in our shop and saying, "How are you guys making it?" Because I
Mhm.
lost my friend of 30 years.
Sure.
You know, so it's communicating, and
Absolutely.
we know each other's vices
Mhm.
and idiosyncrasies.
Yeah.
So when she has her attitude,
Mm.
okay, I know when to step back, and then I can,
Mhm.
push. I know how to get her back going,
Right.
and vice versa. But I think communicating with one another and being honest to one another and staying in your lane. I
Staying
don't
and staying in your
actually
lane.
step over into that lane. I mean, some of the things you can learn from one another, which that's great to have the
Mhm.
partnership. But I try to stay in my lane because she's gonna roll with that and she's gonna do it well, and I trust her to do it
Right.
well.
That's a big word.
Mhm.
That
Trust.
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 You know,
Yep.
if I were giving advice to people going in business, I don't think you can have a high level of success without some kind of partnership.
Mhm.
You can only do so much by yourself, right?
Absolutely.
So there has to be some level of cooperation.
Mhm.
Mhm.
There's got to be somebody you're supposed to cooperate with, and I think you should look at, first of all, alignment.
Mhm.
Do we have alignment on a vision? Like, are we going the same direction? You don't want to get somebody and you have conflicting goals and aspirations. The second thing is complementary skill sets.
Mhm.
That's one of the things that you are saying. You don't need somebody who's identical to you,
Mhm.
because you need somebody who can do things you can't do. So if I'm a communicator and visionary, I need somebody who's administrative and task
Yep.
oriented. If I'm a person that just wants to work from my heart and I don't like asking for the money, I need somebody who's going to ask for that money.
Absolutely.
You know, some people be like, I'm just going to do this for the Lord.
Yeah.
Because you know, Christians are real.
I'm like, girl, they
We
ain't
just
paying no
doing this for
bill.
the Lord. And I'm saying we doing this for the Lord and for that check.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Give me that check so we can do more for the Lord. Amen.
Right.
But then I think an important
That is
thing that I
good.
learned from one of my mentors is, which I think we leave out, I think it should be in a level of enjoyment with your partner.
Mhm.
Like, if y'all don't have camaraderie and you're not having fun, let's say you got somebody that got complementary skills and y'all have an alignment, but you don't like each other.
That's not going
That
anywhere.
energy drain
Mhm.
from having somebody that you're trying to get to like you is going to take away the energy you need to run your business. And so I would tell people who are listening, think about those things in addition to what you all have said: alignment, camaraderie, enjoyment, and complementary skills. You got to have somebody who can do the things you're not comfortable doing. And let me take it a little further. In Deuteronomy 32:30, there's a scripture that says, "How can one person chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight, unless the Lord gave them up?" Okay, it's a military verse. People quote it in church a lot. It's a military verse talking about how one soldier can defeat 1,000 enemies with the Lord's help, and then two soldiers can defeat 10,000 with the Lord's help, right?
Right.
So what we learn from that verse is that with the Lord's help, you can do a lot by yourself. One person can kill 1,000, but if you get two, you should only be able to destroy 2,000, because now you got 1,000, I got 1,000. But the Bible says if you get two, you go from 1,000 to 10,000. That's the power of the exponential power of unity. So I always ask people, who's your two? Like we talking about, what's your why? Who's your two? If you're Batman, who's Robin?
Absolutely.
Because when you find your two, you can go to heights you can't get to. And I think that's one of the keys. So partnerships are critical, and I'm glad you all are in a situation you found a partner that really works for you. I want to shift to another subject, and that is really what this podcast is about, is highlighting women in business. And, you know, you all are like, I don't know, I've never thought of this, like have a double minority strike on you. So you're not only black, but you're a woman. Now, you may not get shot in an arrest like black men, but it's got to be some challenges inherited in being a black woman. Talk about that, how being a black woman has either hindered or even helped you in the business world. Or what is being a woman help you to do, or what is being a woman hindered you in? Talk about that, your experiences in that.
Well, I know being a woman in the corporate environment, there are certain things that one of the biggest things that was a struggle for me is self promotion. I've always worked hard and just did what it took. You never knew all the steps that I took to get what I did. I just did them.
Right.
But as I started to move up the corporate ladder, what you realize is that you need a bit of self promotion. People need to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And because of that, has significantly hindered my growth. And I'm still growing in that area, even writing bios. And, it's like hard to say what you do because you like take for granted that you do it and that you know it and you have the information. So as a woman, just learning for example, they tell you men will know if they're applying for a job. They'll know, like, they'll have 65% of the skills, and they're like, I got everything I need. I'll apply. Whereas women, they feel like they need to have 100% of the skills before they'll actually apply. And I find that to be very true amongst women, but amongst myself. So I've had to push through that, and I still struggle with it.
Yeah.
But I know it's a weakness, and I continue to, combat it by just pushing through it and talking about all the things that I've done. But even stepping back as a Christian and as a little girl, that's what you learn. You don't boast. You don't boast about the things that you've done.
Absolutely.
You let people boast you. And my husband's, he's king boaster.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let him do it. That's your
He
that's your
does.
marketing
Yeah,
partner.
both of them. She's exactly. She's like they speak before I even get there. So people are like, oh, I've heard you done this, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
God.
But you know what highlighting your accomplishments and strengths and skill does? It brings credibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, you can't get in the door if you ain't credible.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be the person in the corner that nobody knows. I mean, somebody's got to know that you're a beast at something.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the world we live in. Everything is based on what you've accomplished and where you went to school and what certifications you have, et cetera, what accomplishments you have. So people are measuring that all the time. So it is important for the people you're trying to help that you have to see it like that. Like if I'm going to add value, people got to know
That I have value to add.
Absolutely, yeah.
at the end of the day,
Mhm.
because it's not lying. See, it's only wrong if you're lying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like who when y'all think of a great vocalist, a great singer, who comes to mind? What do y'all think? Like besides me,
Aretha Franklin.
Aretha Franklin,
That's
right?
the-
So it's like if Aretha Franklin was somewhere and somebody say, "Girl, you sing so good," she says, "No, not really. Like I can't." That's not humble. That's lying.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You're lying.
Mhm.
You're not humble.
Mhm.
That's a difference.
Right.
So you have to be honest about how God has blessed you
Mm-hmm.
and bring that to the table. Because you also have to have an awareness of what you're not good at.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not only aware of my strengths, I'm aware don't ask me to do this though.
Uh-huh.
Don't ask me to buy no clothes. Like, right, you know what I'm saying? Don't ask me to like shopping.
Mhm.
So it's balance. Anyway, any other ways that being a woman has helped or hindered?
At New Digz, I think being a woman, obviously we service women, so there's a trust there, so that's beneficial.
Yeah.
To say, no, this looks good on you. Your shape is, apple shaped. So, you got the apple bottom, this kind of dress, A-line, that works. So, and especially when some women don't know. They actually don't know what looks good or what they
Wow.
shouldn't wear. Should you wear crop pants? Are you tall or are you short? You can't get that look because everybody's doing that look.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's beneficial too, on the flip for men, because when men come in, they like
lost. We lost.
yeah,
Help me out. Getting
Right.
stuff from my wife.
So right, I'm getting something from my wife, my girlfriend, to help me. I mean, and they actually listen to us more than women.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah.
easier
For
sale.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But in corporate, as Sadiqa was saying, in corporate America, which I'm still in as well, it's hard because they don't give you the opportunities that someone else is sitting right beside you who's a white male and you're the African American woman. So they don't listen to you. I could be at a round table and give ideas, and then a week later the guy says the same thing I said. I get so upset with
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I said that. Did I not say it strong enough, or are you just not listening to me because I'm a woman, or you not listening to me because I'm black, or you just I don't know what it is.
I had a vision of you doing that, and literally when it's your time to speak, putting on like a man's outfit and a fake mustache and saying, "Here's what I think." See how that
It's gonna
lands.
land.
Yeah, see how that lands. I want to go into like if somebody wants, and this may be, if it's too personal, then don't share it. But I try to be as transparent as I can so people understand what they're getting into. So if somebody wants to start a tropical smoothie king, not smoothie king, so
No,
I'm
no
about to
smoothie
get-
king.
I'm about to
Tropical
mess with-
smoothie cafe.
this tropical smoothie cafe. Yeah, I'm already about to get in trouble. Or if somebody wants to go into and open up a boutique. Like, what is that out of pocket investment like for somebody, because I think people need to know, like, they had these dreams, but they don't have the dollars. And y'all had to have both
Right.
to do this. So to the degree that you can, I know both of you in your story, y'all took your 401k and your savings and dumped it into the business. Is there a general understanding for, I mean, I'm not just talking about getting a facility, because you got to get the building. You got to build it out. You got to put the stuff in the store. You got to pay rent. You got to renovate. You got to paint or whatever.
Yep.
Then maybe you have to have staff, because some of y'all are bivocational, so somebody's got to be watching the place and all that. Like, what are we talking about that people need to be having in their mind? Like, if you're going to start a business that's going to actually survive, like, this is the number you need to have in your mind somewhere in here if you're going to make it. Because I don't want people to think they can just, walk around the store and speak in tongues or lay hands on the door, and then they're going to ask the landlord and all. I mean, really.
Right. That is
So,
just true.
so y'all tell me what you can tell me about that.
And for Tropical Smoothie Cafe, it's a franchise, so the information is right there in front of you.
Okay.
All you have to do is Google it.
Okay.
It tells you how much you need or what it takes to get into this type of franchise. All franchises have, it's public information.
Okay.
Getting into any business, it costs money. So once you decide and you know for sure that's what you want to do, every dollar counts.
Yeah.
Every penny counts. I mean, saving 10 cents, 5 cents, 25 cents, dumping into a
Say
bucket.
that word again. Saving.
Saving.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is.
You better save something.
A nickel is a nickel and a penny is a penny. It's you're going to need that money.
Yeah.
So just
And you
just
may have to
start.
give up something else that you were trying to do in order to do this.
Absolutely.
Unless you got so much money, you can throw it at something.
Right.
But most of us had to say, I'm going to get this, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that.
I'm a
Or
sacrifice.
I'm going to do this, I'm going to keep driving this,
Right.
or I'm going to do this, right?
I mean,
So-
I like bags. Some of that stuff I had to sell.
New Digz. Go to
Right.
New Digz.
That's right. Thanks
Same
for the
bag.
plug.
Huh?
Thanks for the plug.
And put a smoothie in it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But when you have a passion and that's what you know you're going to do, some things have to fall back because it's important. And like I said, just saving the money. That's all you have to do. Saving everything.
Okay.
So
Go to somewhere. You can go online and find out exactly how much.
But for
Okay.
any franchise,
Any
franchise
franchise.
business, yes.
Okay.
Well, go ahead.
You can talk about the money if you want, but I was just going to say with consignment, because the items are someone else's, you don't take on that expense.
Your inventory is provided by your
but-
clients.
Yes, sir. And but for the money, you need some money for storefront. Like you just mentioned, all of these things, from the rent, from the air that you need, from
Advertising.
the advertise, and God has been good, because advertising,
Absolutely.
is word of mouth right now for
That's
the
how
4
you getting
years.
most
Yeah,
of your
we
people?
can't. Yeah, because marketing, we don't have that the marketing budget that we would like. We have income, but we choose to use it somewhere else. So it's word of mouth. It's going out networking. It's reaching out, seeing
Social media.
Yeah, I saw
events.
this. Contact us. I said, oh, we need to do this. So
Social media's been great.
getting
Social
on the
media
news.
It's
is
wonderful.
the deal of the century.
Yes.
Yeah.
Free advertising.
Free.
Yeah. So I would, but you can go ahead and.
Well, I was going to say we initially started out, we were going to do a kids franchise, and I think the down payment was like $250. Is that?
Yeah, it was something.
It was something like that.
250,000.
And we
Y'all should see my face.
Yeah.
we
And another consign. I also have we have a mentor, but I was shopping there prior to, all the way out Severn, Maryland, And she said, "Don't do. You can do this yourself." Like, of course, it wasn't
Mhm.
African American, but she rallied us. She came. She brought us in, showed us, opened her books,
Mm-hmm.
and said, "You can do this
Yeah.
yourself. Don't do it. Don't do it." So that's all she needed to hear. Like me, I was
Yeah,
nervous, but she
because
was like,
the 250,000 was for you all to franchise something.
Right.
Okay.
It was
And she
a
said, "Have your
kids
own."
franchise we
Yeah.
were going to
Y'all were
open.
gonna do that.
And I'm actually glad. I'm really, really glad we didn't do it. That we decided to start our own
Mhm.
because that's what our goal is to ultimately franchise.
Nice.
But one of the things that I wanted to say was, it doesn't matter. I mean, in terms of how much money you need, it varies by the business, by the
Mhm.
industry. I mean, there's just so many variables that it's difficult to say how much you will need.
Mhm.
But whatever you think you need
You
10
need-
times more than
Yeah.
that.
You need a box.
That's it.
Yes, and you need to negotiate for your rent. Try to get as much free rent, for as
In the
long as
first
you can.
couple of months, yeah.
Wow.
And you should really, I mean, you just all the things you think you can plan for. I mean, our business plan is pretty thorough. I mean, it's funny looking at it now because you're like, oh my God, we were so naive.
Mhm.
Stuff we
Same
thought we
thing.
needed, we didn't need it. Stuff we didn't know we needed. I mean,
And I was naive in the sense that, yeah, these clothes, we're going to sell these clothes right out of the store, and we're sitting in there. So,
Waiting on anybody to come
yeah,
in.
please come.
You know,
We used
now
to
y'all can
run
relate
out-
to. Y'all know y'all go to y'all go to the food court in the mall,
Oh,
and
yes.
you see them China,
Oh.
the Asian people. Now you don't hate on them.
That's
now
us,
they-
that's
you gonna
us.
stand outside your store and be like, "Child, you look like you want this bag."
Yep, that's
I love it. I love it. Have y'all thought about adding men's apparel
Yeah,
in
yes,
the
yes,
thing?
that's soon.
She wanted to do it when we first opened. I need to make sure we say that on the record. She wanted to
Yeah.
do me because of how my mind works. I'm like, no, we need to get a repetitive process. We need to get a streamlined process before we introduce another line.
I got
so
you.
that's why we haven't done it yet.
All
But
right.
that's been on her.
That's coming. Mom, where's that? Is it runway? What is the thing where
Rent the
mom got
runway. Rent the runway.
Rent
the runway.
I know.
this major
Mhm.
situation over there? Well, yeah, we went.
Yeah.
We had a big wedding in Los Angeles. We went to, and they hooked my wife up with
Mhm.
what she needed.
Mhm.
Had a place out there to go to. It was
I'll
pretty
pick it
cool.
up.
So
Mhm.
you're already familiar with them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, let me. I want to, Alicia. You said something that I think is important too, because a woman being in business who's also a mom um, presents major challenges, right? Because you
Right.
said, all these things you're doing in your consulting firm
Mhm.
and starting a business and going to soccer practice and
Mhm.
all these things. How have you, do you all have any systems that you use to make sure you don't lose your family while you're trying to build this financial empire or build generational wealth?
I've learned the value of time. That's all I can say with that. There's times like this morning, my daughter, first day of school, I'm mom, first of all.
Yeah.
And when I take her to school, I'm mom. There's nothing else. I don't check my phone.
I'm mom first of all. I like
Yes,
that.
I don't check my phone. My time
I
is
want
with
my
her.
wife to say I'm wife first of all. But go
all,
ahead.
all husbands. want that.
But
We
kids,
supposed to be first. Though.
but
Kids
kids,
messing marriages up.
that's hey, kids. They don't care about what you're doing, at all. They care about the time you're spending with them.
Yeah.
So I had to realize that, and the times that I take her to school and pick her up and go to soccer practice and swim practice, even with my bonus kids, they just want me.
Bonus.
So I have to value my time.
Mhm.
Also with my family too, I have to be able to, because I am in business with my partner. There's
Mhm.
times where we don't talk about business because we need each other.
Yeah.
So it's a time is valuable, and you have to separate it.
Yeah. What do you guys? You have a system? You just kind of just juggle.
Man, I'm juggling.
I'm
I'm
keep it
listening.
real.
You see me, I'm sitting there like, oh my.
It took me a long
'Cause
time.
you're married. You
I'm
got
married.
kids.
I have kids. I work full time.
How old are your kids?
Oh, 45 and 8,
Oh,
and
my.
I'm going on 47. So I don't have the
Wow.
energy.
Yeah.
All my friends are sending their kids away to college.
Mm.
And they're like, I don't know how you doing it. And I was like, I don't either. So
Yeah.
someone, and I asked, even Sadiqa, she has 3 children, but at high school. So I'm like, what did you do when you were like, girl, I don't remember. So I'm like trying to ask anybody, like, give me some
That's
pointers
helpful.
on.
I don't remember.
I just made it through.
I really
Yeah.
don't think
You know, but
there's
I'm
none.
juggling. We try to do, Friday nights, and it's not. That's
Yeah.
not really, working. I just try to fit them in and fit everything in.
Yeah.
And I'm dropping the ball. So I have to be honest, because that's
Yeah.
hard. I mean, running a business and, working,
Mhm.
and then you say, your kids, and you have homework, and you have your husband.
Then you have
Mhm.
activities
That's
with your
another
kids.
job.
Come on.
I mean,
Come on.
mine is another
Come
job.
on.
I got another job
Come on.
to help my husband get through the day.
Yeah. Don't forget your
So-
husband. There, Trina Jenkins, the first lady of the First Baptist Church of Glenarm, she said something one time. She says, she's got 6 kids and grandkids and a busy life. She says she doesn't try to balance. She says her word is obedience, like, which really means like do what needs to be done in the moment. Don't worry about am I giving time to this and equal time to that. Wherever the time is needed. You got a sick child, that's priority number 1 now. So everything else must, and when you're doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, things have a way of taking care of themselves. They get done on the other end. Or if it doesn't get done, you know what? You got to prioritize the family. But I think there also needs to be a system. Like if you don't have scheduled times that are protected for your family, like if you have a family date or family dinner or something like that, if it's not protected, if you don't protect it, life will happen and it'll push those important things out.
Right.
I think the important things whisper to us, the urgent things scream at us, and we tend to listen to the screams. But the things that are whispering will become screams if we don't pay attention to them. Like a husband, like a marriage. Then before you know it,
That's
they're talking to each other. Like we gotta, prioritize systemically. Busy people have to do that. I think
Right.
that's very important.
Right.
You have anything to add to that, Sadiq?
I'd say 2 things. The first thing is for me, exercising is critical. Like
Wow.
I absolutely. She knows. Everybody knows that if I don't, you can see it in my attitude, my energy. I mean, I can go a couple days, but after a couple days, you can see.
If you don't work out.
If
Wow.
I don't work out, because
Yeah.
that's my outlet. That's my,
Yeah, and it produces chemicals to the brain that are life-giving and pleasurable. Yeah.
And it releases stress.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
things that I wouldn't ordinarily be able to tolerate without exercise, I can with exercise, and it helps the whole family. It teaches my girls the importance of health and the importance of working out and stress relief, and it's good for my body. I mean, there's just so many
That's
aspects
good.
of it, and
I
You
agree.
take care of you first.
yeah, I
Yes.
have
So
to.
that there's enough of you to take care of everybody else. I like that.
And it gives me energy to get through the
Yeah.
day. You can definitely tell. And then the second thing is similar to what you were saying was oftentimes I realize that it balances in the end. It doesn't balance on a day-to-day basis. So you think, okay, I got to spend an hour to this. Some days you're going to spend 2 hours. Some days you're going to spend 15 minutes. It just balances in the end, and just doing what you need to do. And, just asking God to guide me. Okay, what is it you'd have me to do today?
Yeah.
And you do those things, and you add a couple and move, shift over here. And tomorrow you revisit and do
She
something
says
different.
move, shift over here. She didn't say move. She said move and shift over here. So y'all won't write me.
Oh, yeah. Well, what did that? No.
You said move, shift over here.
No. Oh, I'm so sorry.
You already said bleep.
Oh,
bleep
God.
earlier.
Oh, God.
That's Sadiqa Brown.
Yes. No,
No.
to put it on the
New Digz
record.
consignment.
Oh,
They
Lord.
keep it real over there.
I
parental guidance suggested when
Oh
you come in
no!
the store.
Oh God, I'm the last person.
I got to
That's
move some
funny.
shift over here.
Cause
That's funny because I'm the last person that is like this.
It's really Kelly, huh?
you don't hear that.
channeling your Kelly.
I
on.
know. She done mixed
I
me
rubbed
up.
I rubbed off on her.
I was gonna say for time and balance, there really is no right way to do any of this.
Yeah.
You only do what works for you.
Yeah.
So if it's you need to move and shift things over there or spend time
Y'all
with
really
your
want to
family.
stick with that word, don't y'all?
Just
I
to
was
make
thinking
sure
that-
that the audience knows
I know.
what she said.
But there isn't a blueprint to any of this.
Mhm.
It isn't one at all. You just have to do what you can. And like you said, I find value in going to the gym. I just went this morning, and I like that time to myself.
Good.
It gives me a lot of energy to say, okay, I need to do this today. I need to do that. I'm going to knock out this. So again, just finding your own blueprint, and that's it.
I'm sorry, I'm
And
laughing.
make sure you keep moving, shift around.
You see? Oh, we
Move,
gotta,
make
and
your
like
moves.
you said, I want to make sure because I'm sure all the ladies agree. And then your husband tells you times when he needs you. He doesn't specifically say I need you, but you
No,
know
you
what
know.
I need you
Mhm.
mean.
Yeah.
And so that means put all of it down and
Shift everything then.
yes, SHIFT.
Amen. 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 I read something that you wrote in your message to us, Kelly. You said, I like this. You said, I have learned to put a price tag on my services and valuing my time. That's a classic statement. I love that. You said your business partner says this all the time. Time is our greatest resource, and we need to put a value to it when doing business. I really want to tease that out. And you said another life lesson is trust your gut. Intuition, discernment, whatever you want to call it. 99% of the time, I was right. So, and you said go with your instincts. So, like, what I like about that is there's a man named Jeff Hoffman. He started Priceline.com. He's a billionaire. And he says, this is powerful. He says, your gut is your fast intellect. Think about that. That's why you need to trust it. It's your fast intellect. It hasn't been inhibited by anything. That's your smartest self coming up. And I think women especially have been wired with a high level of discernment and intuition. I think like the way you all were created was created that way. But I also love that concept of making people value your time because you can't get it back. And we have to have courage to not let people waste our time. Like, so there's a cost associated with me giving you my time. If I choose to volunteer my time, that's my choice. But I can't let you waste it because I can't get that back. You can come over and waste my food. I can go back to the store. As long as there's groceries, I can get more food. But you waste my time, I can't get that back. That's precious. So how have you all tried to protect that, like making people value your time? And in what ways have you seen, well, like you have any stories of when your gut was right and you went with it, or when your gut was right and you didn't go with it and you realized later, I knew I shouldn't have did that? Any stories like that? I know I'd ask a multiplicity of questions right there.
When it comes to gut and intuition, and I think discernment, or whatever people want to call it, I've always had that. You said women, but I think my upbringing too, and I used to say, why do I, look at these people or a connection with a person or not having, and then you're trying to make a connection with the person, and I would just be thinking about that all the time, and I remember someone shared with me that what you had in the streets when I was doing wrong or whatever is heightened when I'm now with God and I have a relationship with God. So it's just heightened. And so when I, in an example, a person, that I wanted to do business with, and and I knew I shouldn't have or try to reach out to them. And, you just push it because when you're in the business, you have to, like you say, connect with people. And I'm like, this person, they can get us on. I know they in the community, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get them, And I'll keep reaching, but something kept on saying, no, Kelly, but we let our flesh, override sometimes and not go by obedience. But I already knew that intuition, that discernment said, Kelly, if you don't back off, and when I backed off, God just revealed so many things about the person. And I was just so happy he didn't let me get into business or, collaborate with that person. So those are kind of the things that happens in business in our store, and people come in all the time to say, let's sit down. You don't know how many people come in. I want to show you this product we got, and they thinking you're not busy, because we're outside waving. Come in. No. But you think if there's no people in the store, we're not busy. We have online. Several ways we market and we sell and we're shipping and we have day-to-day business activities. So you think it's quiet. It's not quiet, and they waste their time. There was in the beginning, Sadiqa always would get caught more than me. And I was like, you don't get that person out of here. We got to get out of there. You have to move on. But, we both would find ourselves in those kind of predicaments where we're wasting time and then missed out on doing other business things that we could have done.
That will move
move forward. Move forward your business. So, that happens. So.
I want to honestly say my gut tuition is not very good. But good thing I have a partner where his is.
Good.
So I always second guess myself, and that's just been since I was little. But he has a good intuition on things, and it's pretty much on point.
Good.
But just on wasting time, I'm very good at not having people waste my time.
Good. And how do you do that? What do you do?
So I would say, when I'm taking my daughter to practice, I do spend that time where I'm on the computer. She's practicing. I'm okay. So, but that might be perceived by other parents as she doesn't want to talk. And it's not that. It's just that I have things to do right now.
Yeah.
So it could be perceived different. Also, I don't really spend a lot of time going places or doing anything like that. I just value, like I said, the time by myself where I am kind of mentally wheeling back things and trying to focus on the next thing or just trying to reflect. But again, as far as people perceiving that when I'm not talking, or they might perceive that as being, oh, she might be rude, or because she's not talking. No, I'm just actually doing my thing now.
Circling back with the business, also one of the things, just having just two of us and not a team of people. So part of the business of consignment is that we price things. Of course, you have to price them. You have to put them out on the floor. So when I'm doing that, I could be actually doing something else, networking, going out, trying to partner. When we're talking about time, we could actually, Sadiqa's like, you can get a resource, but, giving that up, like, no, I want it priced right. I don't know. But that's the time that you can actually train somebody to do that, and I could actually use what my strengths are better and go out.
It also costs money.
It costs.
One of the things specifically was a catalyst for that is I remember a lady came in and she brought this limited edition Louis Vuitton bag, and she brought it in this, it's like a picture frame, and she come in holding it like it was gold. And so she says, oh, it's authentic, blah, 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 blah. So I said, okay. But, you just kind of get that feeling like she's doing too much for this. Because a lot of our high-end, I mean, they don't throw their stuff, but it's just like, oh, here it is. They're not coming in. I mean, you should have seen them coming in like this was gold.
People with money act different than people without, even though they both have Gucci's or Chanel's.
Tell me that. Let me hear that.
Well, let me tell you this
don't
one.
forget to tell me how the people that got money got a Gucci, the people that don't.
So long story short, Kelly spent like 3 days authenticating this bag.
We knew
3
it
days.
wasn't.
And
real.
it
I should've
came down to 3 stitches on each side of the bag that made it authentic. That was what was the determining factor.
Mhm.
And after that, I said, you spent way too much time trying to authenticate that bag, which we didn't get any money for. At that point, we weren't
So it was
charging
a fake
fee.
bag.
It was a
Yes.
fake
Lord have
bag.
mercy.
And
She
she
came
spent
in
3
there.
days to tell her it was fake, that we already knew
Because I
it was
wanted to
fake.
give her a reason. Because I didn't want to say. Because one of the things about consignment, you go to the ones in Georgetown, it's like, they kind of have an air, and that's what I never liked about consignment. But so we're kind of home girls,
Yeah.
you know. Come
Yeah.
on in, but we still
Yeah.
giving you the boutique
feel.
feel.
Mhm.
But I knew how she had it in the cakes.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm saying. People with money, every time they're like, here, I trust. If you explain what the process is,
Mhm.
they're like, okay, where do I sign?
People without
but
money.
with
Broke
somebody
people.
broke people,
Okay.
and they
so,
have Gucci. Wait a minute.
So,
So
I mean,
who
let me
gets, who gets the 60? You know,
Let
Yeah,
me take
yeah,
a picture. I'm
yeah.
gonna take a picture.
I'm
That's
take
Keisha. That's Keisha Jackson. That's Rollo's girl.
It's just different. It's different how
And they're calling you every 5
5
minutes.
minutes. Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
terrible.
Oh, goodness,
Anybody
that's
come
funny.
get my bag?
Right.
Did y'all sell my bag? Is it up in the front of the
And we
store?
have all.
Do y'all
I
have it
didn't see
somewhere where people can
online.
see it?
Yep.
Yes.
Uh,
Oh my goodness.
Why is it in the bag?
It's like, come get
Oh,
your
he
bag,
knows.
please. Just come get it.
Well, you give me something for leaving it there?
Yeah, oh,
I
we
could
got
have
that
sold it
real-
somewhere else. That's my cousin. That's why. I love our people, boy. Listen, we were out of time. I had so much more I want to talk to y'all about. Is there anything y'all wanted to say? Well, first of all, how can people get in contact with y'all that may be interested in your services? How y'all want to reach out to you? Tell me. Say your name, then how you
Oh,
can get
this
to you.
is Sadiqa. You can find us on social media at New Digz. Oh, go ahead.
With a Z.
With the Z. I was going to spell it out.
Oh,
but
okay.
Go ahead,
Oh,
spell it out.
sorry.
N as in Nancy, E as in Edward, W as in wagon, D as in David, I as in igloo, G as in goat, Z as in zebra.
You can tell she does that a lot.
Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
New Digz
Mhm.
in Upper Marlboro.
Yep.
And we have a website at newdigsconsignment.com.
Very important.
And
Very
for Tropical
important. I've seen the
Smoothie,
website. It's
You
good.
can find us on Instagram, Tropical Smoothie Cafe Iverson, _ under each word. And we're also, again, on Facebook with Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Branch Avenue.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
we're
You
taking in
excited?
fall inventory.
High end is preferable.
If you want to come
High
in.
end. Real stuff. Don't
Yes.
come in there with no
Authentic.
case with something fake.
Don't
We're
do
gonna
it.
know.
Don't do it.
We're gonna know. We
And
may
we're gonna
have you
charge
arrested
you.
for
Yeah,
being
we
an
charge
imposter.
now.
Now
though.
we charge.
now.
If
We
you
learned
give us
from
a
that.
fake bag and it's fake, we're gonna charge you if you want it back. If you don't want it back, then just leave it.
So we got to make sure that everyone has
Wow.
their bag and has their smoothie, because
Mhm.
that goes hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And after you work out,
Because you got to be
After
and drop
refreshed.
the kids off.
Right.
Yes.
You got to be refreshed.
Absolutely.
This is great, y'all. This is great. I'm glad you all took the time to come out. There's so much more we could talk about, but I'm going to stop it here. I hope y'all enjoyed hearing from these ladies today. Thanks again for Miss Kelly Queen being here, Alicia Hicks, Sadiqa Brown. I wish y'all all the best.
Thank you.
Pray for your families and your business, that y'all have success in every area of your life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for tuning in today, and we'll catch you next week right here on the Kieth Battle Podcast.